Welcome to Africa Insight. I am joined this week by senior economist Brendon who is going to talk to us about the World Bank's October African Pulse report. Welcome, Brendon.
Thanks for having me, Louw. All right, so starting from the beginning, the World Bank painted a slightly more rosy picture for sub-Saharan Africa. It now expects that the region's economy will expand at a slightly faster pace of 3.8% this year, and it also expects growth to accelerate in the medium term, reaching 4.4% year-on-year in 2026 and 2027. So the bank stated that the improvement in its outlook is largely broad-based, with forecasts revised upwards in 30 out of the 47 economies. So its improved outlook is mostly driven by stronger terms of trade across much of the region, and also coupled with easing price pressures and more accommodative monetary policy stances. The World Bank also said that most of the economies in the region is well positioned to weather President Donald Trump's tariff onslaught, given their low trade exposure to the US.
That's a relatively good news on the tariffs then, but the report really focused on employment, and the picture there is not a good one.
Yes, that's correct. So the World Bank essentially said that the solid economic expansions across the region have not necessarily translated into meaningful improvements in employment and poverty reduction. And it also said that the current employment crisis cannot be solved by the current growth model. So the bank estimates that the region's working age population growth will outpace that of any other developing region around the world between 2025 and 2050. It also said that a 1 percentage point increase in real GDP growth translates only into a mere 0.04 percentage point rise in the share of working age individuals with paying jobs.
Right, so a familiar story of jobless growth. But what does the World Bank recommend?
So to remedy this, the World Bank has emphasized that there's a need for accelerated infrastructure development, a wider adoption of digital technologies, human capital development, a more conducive business environment, and of course, more capable governments. But these recommendations are not really anything new. Africa's infrastructure backlog has long been a significant drag on its economic growth potential, while persistent governance challenges also continue to deter investment. Also, constrained fiscal positions and elevated debt levels across the region leave many countries unable to respond to global economic disruptions, let alone tackle any constraints to sustainable employment growth. Apart from the tariff measures imposed by the Trump administration, the World Bank also highlighted that the slowdown in real GDP growth in China could also curb demand for African exports. So the World Bank's warning that the nature of economic growth rather than its pace should not be overlooked but heeded as a timely warning, since protests over the lack of economic progress are taking hold across the globe, and particularly in Africa.
And perhaps we'll have opportunity to talk about that next week, perhaps looking at Morocco or events in Madagascar. For now, I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Brendon.
Thanks, Louw.
Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.